Perhaps you recently went on a date and everything was going great until you realized you're now carrying an alien inside you. Don't worry, you're in for an exciting ride. Well, let me tell you what to expect on the life cycle of that little alien now inside you. So this is a simplified life cycle of xenomorphs. There are, of course, many variations. Alright, let's begin, you proud new mommy, future corpse. Though honestly, you're probably already dead. Stage 1 is the egg. These eggs are laid by a queen, but she's another video. Xenomorph eggs are about 1 meter in height, ovoid, leathery, and have 4 petal-like lips at the top. They are somewhat translucent, as if you look closely, you can see a little guy inside. Interestingly, these eggs have quite a bit in common with reptile eggs. They have a similar internal structures, such as an amniotic cavity, a yolk and sac to support life, and albumin to supply hydration and shock absorption. In fact, like reptile eggs, they require a moist environment and external heat to help them with proper development. So most of these eggs are found in hot, humid environments. The best temperature for stage 1 is about 30 degrees Celsius, and the proper humidity is about 85%. These eggs also appear to have a field around them, a stasis field, that consists of directed light and mist, that helps the egg remain in stasis until triggered by a host large enough to accommodate an embryo. When the trigger is met, the egg hatches by opening its 4 leathery petals, and the next stage of the creature pops out, the facehugger. Within seconds of the egg hatching, the facehugger is ready to implant the embryo in the living host. Which, hey, brings us to stage 2, the facehugger. The life of a facehugger is quite sad. They are not self-sustaining organisms and have a single purpose: implantation of a xenomorphic embryo, and then they die. But don't feel bad for the little guys. Yeah, we don't know exactly the upper limits of a facehugger's ability to survive until they find the right host, but they can make it up to 5 days or longer in some cases. Okay, so these little guys pop out of the egg once it is triggered by a large enough host nearby. They don't require a specific environment like the egg, and they are pale and spider-like, having 8 tri-jointed digits and a long prehensile tail. They also have an ovipositor located anteriorly that is a fleshy tube through which the creature gives you an embryo. Facehuggers are incredibly strong, quick, and able to overcome an adult human to implant inside them. All variations of facehuggers have the capability to expel acid, which helps them get through any barriers. It also has filtering air sacs on either side to serve as an atmospheric filter to mimic the host's natural environment once they latch on. This can help the host survive in toxic environments. Once they have attached to the host, the facehugger can use chemicals to help with the xenomorph's development. A cyanose-based paralytic substance can help the host calm down and render them unconscious for smooth implantation. And immunosuppressive chemicals injected into the host help implant the embryo. After attaching to the host, the facehugger will remain there until implantation is secure. This can be anywhere between 20 minutes to 16 hours, though again, there are many exceptions. Once implantation is successful, it gets a chemical signal to release, and then it crawls away to die. The host usually wakes up shortly after this with no memory of the implantation, but perhaps a mild fever or sore throat. Now you might be wondering, when the little cutie attached to your face, if you could actually remove it and stop it from giving you one of life's greatest gifts. While it may be possible to successfully remove a facehugger, in most cases an attempt will result in the host dying, typically because the creature uses a chemical overload to kill the host, or through strangulation, ends the host's life. The facehugger can survive the removal, however, to find a new host. But since your implantation was successful, let's talk about stage 3, which you are going to absolutely love and be experiencing soon: the chest burster. With implantation, the nymph stage of the xenomorph grows in the host. Best guess is the embryo borrows from the host genome even as it's being implanted. This allows it to combine the host genetic information with its own. Along with the immunosuppressive chemicals I talked about with the face huggers, this act also further helps the embryo from being attacked by the host's body. The embryo, within hours, is directly absorbing nutrients from the host to accelerate its growth, and it will complete this stage in 4 to 24 hours, roughly. The range of growth period varies depending on the type of xenomorph being carried, the host type, and the host environment and metabolism, among a bunch of other factors. It's important to note that during this growth, the host is often unaware. As the embryo grows to a nymph, it begins to take on traits of the host while maintaining its own genetic identity. Within 1 hour of implantation, inner jaws of the adult are forming and its skin is pale and translucent. A long eyeless skull, basic extremities, and development of the muscular tail can be seen shortly after. And what's so cool about this is the physiology of the host will almost always be strongly reflected in the hatching xenomorph when the time comes. Which, let's talk about the fun part. You've probably seen a chest burster before. Or seen jokes about it.
Oh no, not again.
Ow, you really are sad.
Stage 3 gets its name from this part, with the embryo finally growing into a creature strong enough to break through your chest or stomach area and finally come into the world. As the creature can easily pop out of a chest cavity, it has led to speculation that it releases an enzyme to soften the bone and tissue that surround it during development inside the host. When the little guy is strong enough, it begins to bite its way out while uncoiling and flexing its tail, perhaps with the weakened bone and tissue to make it easier. Once out, within seconds, the chest burster will seek to be alone to develop. The host tragically dies from the massive traumatic shock and hemorrhage, which ends stage 3 with a bang, pop, sound of your blood and insides going everywhere. But seriously, don't let your impending death get you down. Let's talk about stage 4, when your beautiful baby becomes an adult xenomorph. Which there are like a bunch of different adult xenomorphs it can become, which I can talk about in a separate video if you're that into what your little cutie will become after it murders you. By far the most fun, to me, are the runners or dog aliens, but unless you're a dog or a four-legged creature, you won't be getting one of those. Well, I guess maybe if you had a dog, it could get implanted too. But regardless of the type it is, after it bursts from your now very dead body, the alien matures rapidly. It has its adult size within hours, shedding skin like a snake along the way. And here's one fun account of a chest burster growing up. The xenomorph launched out of the host, screeching, its head whipping from side to side, and then it shot behind a stasis chamber that was up against the wall. Everything was rigged for relay. We could see it, but it was trying to hide. They all did this, crawling as far from the host as they could get. It started to spew out this kind of dark, viscid foam, coiling in it, and you could actually see it growing. It was that fast. You'd blink, it would be 5 centimeters bigger, still secreting that resin. Its arms and legs and tail lengthening, hardening, turning black. The exponential increase in body mass alone? I've never seen anything like it. So first off, congrats on your baby not being a fucking pathetic waste of space for like the first 18 years. And also double congrats if you didn't give birth to a boring drone, but a queen. These adult xenomorphs have a lot of unique properties to them, especially depending on the type, which is a fun topic in itself. But you're dead by now, and I guess that doesn't matter. For everyone else, I'll eventually, someday, make a follow-up video on the variations of adult xenomorphs. So thanks for watching. Good luck with the birthing. I'm sure you'll be fine. Hey, Hey, did you know that originally the aliens were going to be albino and translucent so you could see its internal organs, and then its skin would slowly harden and turn dark? However, the materials unfortunately didn't work, they kept cracking, so they had to simplify the design and make their dark colored skin. But would you have wanted to see a see-through alien so you could look at all its crazy internal organs? Let me know down below.